Hello, this is Ed Wagner with Empire Property Management, and today we're going to go over 3 reasons why a landlord or property manager should charge a late fee. So, not overly complicated, and I'm sure there's a lot more than 3, but these are 3 that we kind of use. But first things first, we need to go over the purpose of the late fee. So, the purpose of the late fee is to compensate the landlord for the inconvenience of having the rent show up late, and then also to encourage the tenants to pay on time. And so that is the purpose of the late fee. It's not to punish the tenants or anything like that. We're not, treating our tenants like children. We do not want to punish the tenants, but we do want to encourage certain behavior. And that leads us right into number 1 reason why a landlord should charge a late fee is because we want to encourage that rent to show up on time. Now, and that's because the rent is what makes this business go around. So I've been in this business. I've had my first rental in 1999 and started managing professionally in 2003. So I'm 25 years a landlord now. And I will tell you that rent is the reason why we're in the business. We're in the business for the money, pure and simple. Now, everybody has their different reasons for the money. For me, it was providing some future security for my family. It has nothing to do with greed. It almost has nothing to do with greed with anybody. They're just trying to provide for their future. And so rent is how we all pay the bills. That's how we build our future. That's how we pay our mortgage payments. That's how we keep the lights on. That's how we maintain the building. And so those timely rents are really important because of reason number 2. So we're going to keep this brief. We're going to run through the reasons pretty quickly. Reason number 2 is the expenses just keep coming in, whether the tenants pay or not. And so landlords like to learn that when they have a vacancy. So when they have a vacancy, guess what? The property taxes are still due. The maintenance on the building is still due. Regular maintenance, we're talking about, and capital improvements, all that stuff is all coming due. Utilities, all that thing. And so it is when you have a rental property. So the expense of, let's say, for instance, the roof. The roof is everything you install on the property is a time bomb. So a roof lasts 25 years. So for the minute you put it in, 25 years later, you got to pay for it all over again. You got to replace that roof. And so if you're not collecting rent, then you're going to have to dig for it. So rent is what keeps the property maintained. It's what pays for the utilities, the landscaping, and all that. So it's very important that the tenants pay on time. And so that late fee is there to encourage them to pay on time. So those expenses just keep coming in. Number 3, we want drama-free management. So I've ran into some landlords who had very little or no late fee. And they spend their early part of the month chasing tenants down for rent almost every month. And I will say at Empire Property Management, we have almost no late rents. There's, of course, some late rents every month, but we generally can work with them to get them up to speed on that in later months. But we are pretty set on charging that late fee. I'll go into some exceptions to that later in the video. But that drama-free, tenants do their part. They pay the rent on time. They do their part in maintaining the building. The landlord accepts the rent and does their part and maintains their portion of the building. And the landlords are left alone to raise their family in peace. And the landlord is left alone to build their life and raise their family in peace. And so it's a very good situation for everybody when everybody pays on time. So how much late fee should you charge? So that's where we're going to get into that. We talked about it a little earlier about the landlords we knew. I still know who charge almost no late fee, and they're worried about adding a financial burden to the tenants. So that is a valid concern. So the industry standard for the amount is between about $50 and $150. So any more than that, and you're getting punitive, really. And the purpose, again, is to compensate the landlord for the inconvenience and to encourage them to pay on time. So we're not going to be punitive and charge them, over a certain amount. It's really kind of hard to say. It depends on the market and everything else. But again, in our markets, about between $50 and $150, that's the range. Empire Property Management generally charges $100, about $100 for late fee. It depends on your rent amount. And we can and do waive late fees. We're allowed to waive one per year, but the rent has to be current, so you can't be behind in the rent and have us waive late fees. And of course, when they pay the rent, none of the money goes towards late fees until they are current on the rent. So anyway, those are some three very good reasons why a landlord should charge a late fee, and a very good reason why tenants should pay on time. So if you're having trouble with your tenants paying on time, feel free to give Empire Property Management a call. We live by the drama-free property management as much as we can. So we're very proactive in taking care of problems. So again, feel free to give us a call. And as always, happy landlording.